Happy New Year to each and every one of you who's watching. It's 2025, and I'm sitting here this afternoon. I had intended to spend the day with my wife, but her brother's been in hospice, and she ended up having to travel to be with her family and things like that. So I spent the day doing what I do best, which is working and just taking care of business at home. So I want to share some things as we enter into 2025. Positive news for you is our company. We're really excited about where we're going and what we're doing. I want to share a bunch of things. So this is going to be a long video. So if your attention span, as they say for adults, is 8.5 seconds, uh, sorry. Uh, I feel like this is really, really important for our community at Positive News for You and for our organization, our 501(c)(3 PM for You. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of that stuff today. So don't feel like you have to understand it all, but you may find some areas that you're really, really interested in. First thing I want to share is we're working hard on our website. We've been developing more and more content for our website, and I want to share some of what that looks like online. Like if you were to go to our website today, the very first article you would see is an article on weddings in Tennessee. And this was one of the series that I began to do with Positive News for You. I decided that I was going to talk about weddings in every state in the union. So we're going to have 50 of these. We're on Tennessee. I'm going alphabetically because that's how I work when it comes to things like that. So you're going to find a lot in this article. What you're going to find is people who are Florida. You're going to find resources, caterers, things like that, restaurants, ideas for fun things to do when you're there and stuff. I have a number of friends who live in Tennessee, um, and so I love Tennessee. I love each and every state that I've been in. The only one I haven't been in yet is Hawaii, and my wife would like me to do that. But this is part of our series, and I did a number of series this year. I did a series on weddings. I did a series on I began to do a series on wines and wineries and things, and then I began to take it state by state. One of our sponsors was a company called Summit Winery. And so I began to write about the wines and things that they carry, but I also began to write about wineries. So every state I covered a number of wineries. We have a full business directory that covers every winery in every state that we had at the time we put it together, which is like 10,000. We have a complete listing of every brewery and craft brewery that exists in the United States because I did a series on beers and brews. And so that's out there. And I did another one on great foods, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I did another one on pizzas. I took my grandson down to, I'm originally from New Haven, Connecticut. I took my grandson to Pepe's Pizza, and I took him down there and we went down to Worcester Street. We had, the famous white clam pizza, and we had a tomato pie, and I even drank some of I hadn't drank a soda for 8 years, but I decided that I was going to get one of the glass bottles of soda. So I drank that soda when I was a kid. So I drank 2 sips. I decided that was more soda than I can handle. I gave my grandson the rest of it. But so I did one on pizzas. And excuse me, when I'm not going to edit this. One of the things I did when I wrote an article about Pepe's Pizza, and to this day, I wrote that in May. It is the number one most visited article I've done of any article on Positive News since 2017 when I started the company. Even this morning, I saw it still had something like 25 views this week. The next article that I hit was today's daily news, and it was about here we are, Happy New Year 2025. And there were some really great stories there. Every day I do the daily news. Every day it includes stories. Every day it includes inspiration. Every day it includes a day of the week. This happens to be New Year's, but tomorrow is Motivation and Inspiration Day is the one I covered. And I felt that was just right up the alley of positive news. So you'll find all those things as well as pictures and videos and things like that. The next article that shows up on our website, I'm kind of going chronologically, was I did Leaving 2024 Behind and Embracing 2025. and I called it a positive, resilient, and intentional approach to 2025. What can I do to make my life better so I can make the lives of others better? And so that was one of the articles I did. One of the more popular regular articles that's come up. I have this young man. His name is Chris. He has done a podcast for over 2 years, I think, and it's called Coffee on the Couch. He's had some amazing guests. He's had photographers. He's had entrepreneurs. He's had jewelers. He's had authors. The most recent one, he got a guy from the cage fighting world, MMA. So if that's kind of where you live, he brought in this guy. The guy's name is Brandon Gold, and he did this. One of uh, Chris is actually an affiliate with a company called Fight Coffee, so he connected through that. Another one of our theme ones for states that came up this week was positivity in each state. We're at Virginia. So I've done literally every state. I've talked about the technology, the labor, the communities, the cool things to do, the geography of the state. How do they deal with their natural resources? What do they do with that? What are some of the events? What are festivals that are going on? All those kind of things. So you'll find that in every single article done on the positive things that are happening in communities. The next one that came up was flavor, had to do with foods. So I did a whole food column. So we're up to Nevada, and the title of this one was From Basque Cuisine to Sweet Sin City Treats. And there's some crazy foods in that. And so I'm going to be doing all the states in the union. So we're up to Nevada. So we're more than halfway through it. And we're going to continue to add to that list. When you go to any one of our pages, at the bottom of this, you'll find a business directory. I mentioned that we have breweries and beers. You're going to find somewhere in the neighborhood of 7,000 breweries that are listed there. You're going to find about 10,000 wineries. You can add your own business there. We have 30,000 or 40,000 businesses in that directory. You can either use the free one and take advantage of that, or you can add money to it. You can help us do what we do, and we'll promote you. We promote on Twitter and Facebook. We always talk about our sponsors and things like that. We love the fact that you feel that you can participate with us. And so those are some of the articles that are showing up on our website right on the front page. Uh, I think I checked it last week just to get a number as I was coming up to the end of the year, 2024. There's approximately 5,300 articles on our website. Many of those are daily ones. Some of those have to do with positivity. They have to do with interviews. I mentioned Chris, but I've had other people we've done interviews with American Ninja Warriors. We've done interviews with entrepreneurs. We've done a bunch of that. One of the things that we're going to be changing as we come into 2025 is I'm just getting some water. Um, we're going to be changing our content a little. We're not going to stop writing. We're not going to stop putting photos up and things like that. But one of the things we're going to get better at has to do with video. And we're going to be doing more and more with video. I do a lot of car shows with my grandson. It's kind of our, grandpa, grandson kind of thing. And we go to a lot of car shows. In my Facebook page, I have something like 15,000 photos of, for the most part, classic cars. Annually I go to shows. You can read about those shows. Usually every time we go to a show, I write about the show. My grandson will throw a drone up in the air. Excuse me. He'll go around, take pictures. He'll talk to people. Like I say, it's our kind of outing. We have a number of cruise nights in our area. We try to get to those. We can't get to all of those. So if you're watching this and you want to do something with cars, just let me know. Years ago, I had a videographer that worked with me, and he used to do my breweries. And he was a wedding photographer, and he was a drone photographer, and he was an amazing guy, and he did a number of videos for us, and those videos still score high for us. So my goal in 2025 is to get better at what I do with regard to video, to at least be up once a week myself or somebody with us. There was a period of time I had a young man who was pretty tight with me, and then he went through a series of difficult events. But he used to do the daily news. And then I had another young woman who decided she wanted to do it. So she did some of those with some friends of hers. Those things are really, really popular. And People like to get their news sometimes. They don't always have time to read the article. It's said that the average adult in this day and age only has a 8 second attention span, 8.57 seconds. So this is really, really long, but I'm going to chop it up and you'll be able to deal with it. But if you have ideas of what could be a benefit to what we do, we would love to support what you do. We would love to have you come on board. In whatever capacity, we're going to be, we've always looked for the town criers. We have someone who lives in Kansas City. We have another who lives in Idaho. We have people that from time to time send us stories and things like that. They usually tend to be about events that are going on in their communities and things like that. We're going to be doing more of that. And part of the reason we're going to be doing more of the video is I made an announcement a couple of months ago that our nonprofit, PN for You, Inc., which is a registered 501c3 as well as registered in the state of New Hampshire, that we were going to do. We want one of the things I always wanted to do was education for children, a positive education for children. And I'm the son of a 32-year veteran of the teaching wars. My mom was a teacher for 32 years. Uh, I homeschool my grandson right now. COVID's messed with a lot of kids. And I love I believe I believe it's important to be educated, but I believe it's also important to teach our children how to deal with things. And so I spoke to this friend of mine. His name's Phil. He owns a company called Granpa Owl. He also has another organization called Dad Quote of the Day, and he does these videos with his daughters. He's got a daughter. They're 16 and 13 now. They're going to be part of this project. So Grandpa Owl is a series of books, and I reached out to him and I said, I want to do something. I've been trying to get you to come on board for years and years and years. So let's have a real conversation. And we began to connect. We began with the phone conversation. We've been really good friends for a long time. We used to be in the same church fellowship together. We sometimes we pray on the phone. Sometimes we just laugh on the phone. Sometimes we just talk about life. And so he developed a whole curriculum for grades K through 12, and he's put together the supporting information and all the books and all that. Well, today we just had, so last month I announced that we were doing this and we began to look at grant writing and we began to look at sponsorships, if you will. So if you're a business person and you live in Dallas, Texas, and you have a particular school you'd like us to get into, and I'm just picking a number, say there's 1,000 students in the school that you would like. And it doesn't have to be a public school. It can be a private school. It can be a charter school. It can be a religious school. It can be any one of those things. It can be homeschool. We're looking for people to sponsor those things. I began to be really serious about it when we had three young people commit suicide at the beginning of the school year. And that shouldn't be our metric. Our metric should be that we teach through classes like this positivity and resilience, that we would teach people how to be empathetic to one another, that we would be able to spot difficulties and we would be able to do something with those difficulties. So PN for You Inc. is we're going to have a series of new videos. If you go to our YouTube page, you're going to see that there's going to be some videos that are going to begin to appear there more and more related to Grandfather Owl, PN for You Inc., and things like that. And so we're going to be talking to educators. We're going to be talking to parents. We're going to be talking to people who, kind of in an advisory capacity. Phil is going to be handling all the business piece. We're going to be handling the finance, the donations, all that stuff. I said to him in his group today, I said, yeah, somebody donates a, $300 million yacht to us. We'll figure out how to auction it and put that money into kids. Um, so we have the capacity to do those things. And it's becoming really real to me. I want to be very clear. If you look at this video, you go, how old is this guy? I'm going to be 70 this year. I'm not stopping. I want to see my community and the communities wherever I go be better. So as we come into 2025, there's a lot of things that are on the table for Positive News for You, which is our for-profit side, as well as PN for You Inc., which is our nonprofit side. They do not, they're not attached. It just how I decided to name the entities. And so positive news for you is always going to promote the good things that are going on in communities. So if you come to me and say, Lee, I want to be a town crier for my community, for my state, I want to be an ambassador for making change, come to me. We don't have paid positions. We've not done that. Everybody that has come to work with us, they've come to work with us because they want to see the world a better place. I guess I should look harder at that, but to be painfully honest, I've never taken a dime out of positive news for you. Everything that's ever come in has gone back into the business, if you will, and not for my own good. I mean, when I say that, I love what I do. It's not my income stream. PM for You, we have no paid people in PM for You in our nonprofit. Our board members are not paid, nothing at this juncture. We're going to begin to grant write because we know it's going to take a lot of money to do this educational piece. Um, I'm very open about where I'm at with these things. Um, there's a lot of things that I see that I want to do, and I want to do better, and I want to do more. And this is one of them. So my 2025 is going to look like that. My hope, as you look at what we do, you may see that there's some collaboration or some room to come together and work together. Maybe you have some great ideas. There's people that have ideas I haven't even contemplated. I get stuck in my own world, in my own home. I love my holiday season, but now it's getting real again, right? I love Christmas. I love Thanksgiving. I call it the Trinity of the holidays. But today is my 2025. And so I invite you to join us where you see you can. And if you see that we can do something with you and participate in what you're doing, I hope you'll reach out to us. So 2025 is going to be awesome. The world is going to change. We're going to heal the divides and we're going to make a difference in our communities and we're going to make a difference in our schools and we're going to make a difference. And people are going to notice that there's a difference being made. So I said that the name of the article I wrote yesterday is called A Positive, Resilient, and Intentional Approach to 2025. I bless you and your families and your friends and your communities. And I'm excited for what 2025 has to offer in the coming days. Thanks for being with me.